listening to ChickFlicks with me, your host, Alexis Otang. If you're listening on Spotify or SoundCloud, it's great to have you back. And if you are watching and listening on YouTube, welcome to the family. Oh my God, guys, I'm so happy to be back right now. You don't know how hard it has been to not be able to review a lot of the really cool TV shows and movies that have been out while I was gone, but ChickFlicks is back and better than ever. We have a new look. If you look on our Instagram, we have totally rebranded for our cover, for our Instagram format. We also are on a new platform, Hey YouTube, and also we're going to be posting on new days because it's summer and I work during the week. So, but other than that, I'm just so happy to be back. This hiatus was taken so that I could, move back home and get settled in, finish up my finals for college, but also so I could take the necessary time to elevate ChickFlicks to new heights. I really was happy with season 1, but it's season 2, and I want to bring you guys some fresh new content with a fresh new look and try some things out that will hopefully get your guys' attention and be better than it was before. So yeah, this is the premiere of season 2, episode 1. And yes, I will continue to release episodes on Spotify and SoundCloud, but also on YouTube. So subscribe to this channel so that you don't ever miss an upload. Follow us on Spotify and follow us on SoundCloud. And yeah, guys, I literally cannot wait to start the season with you. Today we are going to be reviewing Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 1. Now, this season has been anticipated by the society for a while. It was originally supposed to come out in 2020, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, or they were supposed to film in 2020, but it got delayed so much because of COVID. And now that it's premiered, a lot of people have a lot of things to say, but you've come here for my opinion, so let's jump right into it. Now, for season 4, they split the storylines into 4 groups. The main one in Hawkins has most of our beloved returning characters like Nancy, Dustin, Lucas, Max, but it also has, and Steve and Robin, but it also has some new characters named Eddie. We also see Erica and a lot of the main crew's family members like Mike's mom and dad, Lucas's mom and dad, or Lucas's mom and Dustin's mom, and we see people here and there. And then the second group is actually Mike, Will, Jonathan, and a new character named Argyle. Mike decides to visit 11 in California because if you remember at the end of season 3, Joyce moved her sons and 11 out to California. I believe it's California, but correct me if I'm wrong. And so Mike is visiting them for spring break. And then we have Joyce and Murphy and, spoiler alert, Hopper. So also, I didn't say this before, but this is a review, so obviously there are going to be spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, sorry for that one. But I feel like you and I both knew they weren't going to kill off Hopper. But going forward, if you haven't watched the season, make sure you stop now so that you can go watch it, enjoy, see all the surprise things that happen, and then come back. But yeah, then the third group is, of course, Joyce, Murphy, and Hopper. And then the last storyline group, which is just really one person, is 11. She has her own storyline and she goes off on her own. So this season was split up into 4, and I honestly did enjoy this format. I think it benefited for the story. It was super easy to follow, and each group's objective was different, and it's gonna be cool to see them all kind of come together because some of them don't even know of the new evil presence that is invading Hawkins. So when they do finally all kind of meet up, there's gonna be a lot of things going on at once, but I think all these storylines are going to be able to match up great. I think they did a really good job this season at mapping everything out and making everything consistent and having continuity and connecting all the storylines to each other. That's a big thing. I think they did an amazing job when it comes to that, especially if you know what happens at the end. This whole time, the main group has been following this character, and us the viewer has no idea that we're watching as Elle is trying to get her powers back, we're watching the backstory of this new antagonist, and it's super cool to see that connection finally come. For this season, I feel like overall the theme was trauma and like skeletons in the closet and kind of dealing and accepting your past, whether you've made mistakes, whether you've gone through anything, kind of accepting them and not burying them deep down and like trying to just keep them out of sight, out of mind, instead of confronting them head on. And, you know, if you looked at the antagonists, Vecna fed off of people's traumatic experiences, whether they did something bad in that traumatic experience or they were the victim themselves. So I really liked that overarching theme. It really played well throughout each of the storylines, though, because a lot of the characters are regretting a lot of the things they've done in the past, a lot of the mistakes they've made. And it really is forcing each character to kind of look at everything they've done, kind of forgive themselves for it, and like keep moving forward, you know? Meet the Robinsons. So I honestly enjoyed this theme, and I think it really played well into the season, and it helped connect all the 4 storylines. Now, going into the main storyline, I honestly liked this new antagonist. I like the new, like, I feel like Stranger Things has always been kind of like a thriller, but this season it did honestly feel a bit like more into horror. I feel like thriller and horror are kind of 2 different things, and Stranger Things has always been great at thriller for me. But this season, the horror, the gore, the, you know, rampantness of it, I feel like it was really good, and it was in a way that it was tasteful and you could still enjoy it even if you're not into horror. I definitely, I gotta be careful now that I'm filming with the camera. I'm trying to, you know, keep my hand movements to minimum. I'm failing, of course, but I'm also trying to do that so that I don't hit the mic as much, but I failed at that. Also, my voice. But back to what I was saying. With the main group, the storyline, I really did enjoy Max's character the most this season. I think her whole arc was amazing. I liked it a lot, especially in the episode Dear Billy. Now that episode specifically, apparently it was directed by Sadie Sink, who does play Max, and I honestly think it was the best episode of the season, which this kind of a part is a critique I have. That episode was so good. It was like miles above the rest, and the rest of the episodes were really good too. But I felt like it being in the middle, it kind of outshone the final, in my opinion. Like that was the peak, the climax of the season, which I guess it technically should be if we're looking at volume 1 as a season of itself and then volume 2 as like a part B. Kind of like if you watch Teen Wolf, there's one whole arc for like season 4 part A, season 4B. They all have different arcs. They're dealing with different things, you know, yada yada yada. But the way they're going about it, I have a feeling like it's not like Teen Wolf in that there's 2 separate story arcs going on in part A, part B. With Stranger Things, the storyline that we see now is going to continue to play and morph and evolve with the new information we've got in this final season. So for me, it being like the peak of this volume, like I feel like the last episode that we got, it was good, but I don't think it was anywhere near Dear Billy. Dear Billy was the best of the season for me. And so I honestly felt like Max getting possessed should have come a little bit later in the season. Having it a little like in the middle, I think it works. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like this is a really small critique. Like I said, I loved the episode and it's amazing. And I do think the finale of this volume was great. I just think it kind of outshone everything else, and so it probably would have played to their interest to have it a little bit like further into the season. But going on to that episode, like it was just so well directed. The storyline, everything they were doing, it gave us a lot of insight on Max. I don't think we've honestly had a solo Max episode that focused on her that much. Well, it wasn't solo, but where her storyline was like the biggest and the most important. We haven't had that in a while since season 2. And it was really great because, you know, I'm glad they didn't kind of just gloss over what she went through. Even though her relationship with her brother wasn't the best, I think it was really important that they acknowledged like she saw that he probably didn't have the best childhood and that he was a hurt person hurting other people, that he took a lot of his anger out and the abuse that he got from his father out on her. And, she doesn't fault him for it. She forgives him for it ultimately. And she also like acknowledges like, you took the brunt of the abuse so that I didn't have to. Whether you wanted to or not, you took it. Your father went after you a lot more than he ever went after me. And you were hurting and you decided to hurt me because of that. But you did this ultimate sacrifice. And even though I had these feelings against you, I should have done something because you were my brother. I should have tried to stop that. I should have, and I didn't. And she feels guilty because I think part of her feels like she should be happy because her brother was always kind of a dick to her, but she's not. And I think this was a really great insight to Mac's character about how, like, even when somebody in your life is like shitty to you, seeing them die in such a traumatic way and sacrificing themselves for you can really bring you in conflict, because while, that person has probably caused you a lot of pain, there's still a part of you that cares about that person and loves that person. And so I think it's great that they didn't gloss over it and that they made it a main part. It pulled into the theme, like I said, of trauma and getting over the past and some of the things they've experienced and not burying them, because in this season, Max did isolate herself a lot from the group. She breaks up with Lucas. She's not as involved with them. She's kind of doing her own thing. Here and there, she'll meet up. But they all know that, she's really hurting inside and she's keeping it to herself. She's deciding to deal with it on her own and burying it deep, because even her therapist is like, you're not opening up. You say you're okay, but we all know you're not okay. So I really loved what they did with Max's character. Another character this season that I adored was Argyle. He was your comedic relief for the Will, Mike, Jonathan storyline, and I 100% believe they nailed it. He was such a good character addition. He perfectly balanced like some of the high-paced action scenes with the comedic relief. Like that scene of them burying the body in like the middle of some freaking desert was just genius, amazing. Not only was it comedic relief, but it also served in moving into the next phase of their storyline, which was them going to go meet, is it Susie? Yeah, Susie. And so Argyle was just funny. And now anytime I hear his song, I'm gonna like that song that they were playing. I don't remember it, but it's been trending on TikTok. Like I'm gonna think of that. And that scene where the FBI agent calls the pizza place and his little monologue, that was amazing writing. Chef's kiss. Mwah. So yeah, that was one of my other favorite characters. And another new character that we got was Eddie. And I honestly think this is going to be a great addition to the cast. I can't remember the actress name. Let me look that up real quick. Sorry, TikTok was playing. I think it's Eddie Munson is the character's name. Who is he? Who plays him? Joseph Quinn, that's his name. He's British and he knocked the American accent out the park. And honestly, I think this was a really great character. The town kind of makes him the fall boy for a lot of these crimes because the first death did happen at his trailer. And they believe because he's some outcast drug dealer who plays Dungeons and Dragons and has this club called the Hellfire Club, and everyone thinks he's some weird loner dude, that he of course has to do it. And it's I think this season really plays into how like perception can be so dangerous. Like preconceived notions about people can really hurt them, because Eddie is like completely made into a villain, and anybody who knows him knows that dude is completely harmless. Like honestly, like he's more of a coward than he is some ferocious satanic cult leader. He's more of just a loser geek nerd like Mike, Lucas, Destin, and all of them who enjoys Dungeons and Dragons and talks a big game but doesn't really do much. So I really do enjoy this character. I think it was a great addition. And the thing is, the way they split it up, it allowed for these newer characters to shine. I don't think it would have worked if they kept everyone together. I think splitting them up was the best thing they can do. Out of all the storylines though, like of the four I think 11's was the best when it came to the cinematography, when it came to the storyline. Her trying to get her powers back and it not being something, because honestly I thought the way she was going to get her powers back was through anger. Like all those scenes happening at the rink with the bullies, I was thinking like she's going to get angry and she's going to find that power back, because that's what they usually do. You know, the person loses their powers and then they get angry and boom, they have their powers back now. But them having to, for her to go back and find the origins of how she, got her power, well, not even got her powers, but found her strength, found the tenacity to be as powerful as she is, was amazing. And it tied perfectly into the other storylines, because we find out that her story is exactly connected to Vecna, our main antagonist. Honestly, I knew that there was something up with the 001 guy. I knew. But did I think he was going to be Vecna? No. And it's probably because all of these characters that we have seen as antagonists, we have seen them in their host. We haven't really gotten a backstory on them. And a lot of times when they're presented to us, we see them in their natural form and then take over a host's body. So for me to notice like this guy is going to turn into Vecna, getting the backstory, I didn't see it. And honestly, I like when I don't. I like when I don't see the storylines, because it really does make it more engaging. There's a lot of times where I can see storylines being played a mile away, and there's a couple I'm going to mention. And there's some where I'm like, that is definitely out of the blue. Like, honestly, last season, they baited us. I really thought that Robin and Steven, that was going to be a thing. And it wasn't. And I was like, wow, interesting. Y'all really got us. And actually, funny thing, one of my friends was mentioning, like, it's kind of surprising that he's so supportive of Robin. Like nobody expected this. And I don't know why that's like, oh my God, why is he like such a nice dude? Like, why is he so supportive? Like, I feel like if it was true to that time, he would be really like bigoted, homophobic. But I feel like the reason why they've made like Steven such a good, it's not Steven, it's Steve. I've been saying Steven, my bad. The reason why they've made Steve such a ally for me, I feel like it's because he's always been that like popular guy who's actually really good, like who has a big heart. Throughout the seasons, we've seen him like always be like just an amazing guy who always steps up when he's needed, who's really always is there for the younger guys who look up to him. And so to me, it makes 100% sense that he would be supportive of Robin and really trying to push her to go for some of the things she's scared to do. Like, it makes a complete sense to me. But going into like storylines that I feel like I'm gonna see, like they're really pushing Nancy and Steve, and I don't know if I like it. I that's one of my critiques. I don't really like the Steve, Nancy, like we've already been through this, and I feel like they're gonna try to address how Steve was Nancy's one, like he was her first love, and the only reason she stepped away from that relationship was because she felt guilty about what happened to Barb, that she dragged her friend to, I believe it was a party, and her friend ended up dying because she just wanted to hang up and make out with some cute boy, and she let him go because of that and went to Jonathan. But honestly, I feel like the best couple is Jonathan and Nancy. There's great chemistry between them. It's probably because their actors are dating, but I like them together, and I just feel like the Nancy and Steve boat sailed away a long time ago, but that's just me. Another storyline is I think we're gonna see a romance blossom. Well, not a romance, but I think Will is gay and he knows that he does have feelings for Mike and that he's going to let it be known. Like, that's what I'm getting. Am I crazy? Tell me if I'm crazy, but I feel like that's where it's going. And I feel like Mike might be pushing or keeping Will at an arm's length because he does have those feelings a bit, but he might not reciprocate them completely. I could be totally wrong and like in another field at another target, but that's the vibes I was getting. Were you guys getting that? Let me know because I cannot be the only one. Um, but that's what I was getting from that storyline. We got another also like I'm jumping all over the place with this review, but because there was just so much, so like, and I'm trying to make these like new episodes and reviews a little less scripted and just more like in my thought, like what I'm thinking right now, without thinking too much about it. So we did get to see Susie and get to see her home dynamic a bit. She came in clutch again and hacked, and she honestly did save the day. She got them the information that they needed, and honestly getting to see like Susie's home life and how like in her family everyone's got her niche, and her niche is being really well with computers, and the girl is a genius. And I just like Susie. I honestly think she's just great comedic relief whenever she's there. That last season, her singing the song while people are literally dying and in grave danger was the funniest shit to me. It was just so freaking funny. So all for more Susie, and I hope they feature her more next season. I hope she finally gets to like see Destin in person, like again, after, last time they saw each other was the summer, and apparently the season takes place like halfway through the school year, immediately after the summer in season 3. Now going on to Joyce, Murphy, and Hopper, I honestly did like this storyline too. I thought it was really great. I knew they weren't gonna kill up Hopper, not Hopper. Hopper, I knew they weren't. You knew they weren't. We all knew they weren't. Like, if you were like, oh my God, Hopper's dead, I was like, they're not going to get rid of such a vital character like that. Like, I just, Billy, getting rid of Billy, I could see that. But getting rid of Hopper, no. But going into that, I really did like how they kind of put him in Russia and under lockdown security. Like, I feel like if there's anyone who was going to be able to get their way out of this one, it was Hopper. And his whole like escaping, being able to escape not once but twice. Amazing. Murphy, loved him this season. He gets funny every single season. We see him he gets funnier and funnier and funnier. And Joyce, she's the most badass mom like on TV right now. Like she literally has infiltrated communist Russians. She has infiltrated Russia and taken down a high maximum security prison to save her man. Like that is a real one. And this like that whole story arc of them trying to save Hopper, I think it was really good. I can't wait to see what they're going to do because they have no idea what is going on in Hawkins. So it's going to be really interesting to see that. And so honestly, like this season was really good. There was a lot of things going. There was a lot of groundwork that they were laying because I think volume 2, that's really going to be where the action hits, where we really see them all doing their part to fight off this evil. And I originally thought this was going to be the final season of Stranger Things, but there is going to be a 5th season. So I'm interested to see what things, we can pick up on that are Easter eggs that are going to be into the 5th season. Because like I said, or maybe I haven't said this yet, the writers of the show, the Duffer brothers, they are masters at continuity. Vecna's presence has been throughout all the seasons before. People have literally gone back now after learning all this new information. They have gone back and rewatched episodes. There's a lot of Easter eggs apparently about Vecna always being there. And the way they explained it on the show was that Vecna is the general to the Mind Flayers' humongous army, his 5-star general. And the Demogorgons are just his little foot soldiers. And so I feel like we're going to get a new character, like going into the final season, we're gonna get one more bad guy. I feel like it's got to be like 4, like Mind Flayer. We got to have the top general and his secret weapon. He's got to have a secret weapon. So I feel like we're gonna get another antagonist. Maybe going into volume 2, they'll discover that. Who knows? But I think this season is one of the best antagonists we have because Vecna was preying on their traumatic experiences. Each victim he has went through something and they're either hiding skeletons in the closet or refusing to deal and open up about what they've been through. They're hiding their feelings and everything they've gone through deep in their soul. And it's giving that darkness that's kind of like manifesting itself inside of them is what he's using to prey on them. And his backstory is really great. And it makes sense that that's how he gets his power from, because he always viewed what his dad did as something he should be punished for. So in a way, he's punishing people for some of the things, whether they were the victim or not, whether they were the antagonist in their experiences, whether they deserved it or not, he's preying on them for those things. And those kind of things are objective, case by case, because one of the characters that died, he kind of Nancy's like sidekick in the journalism club. I don't remember his name, but I don't remember 100%, but I think he was blaming himself for a death in the family, which of course like is another person that Vecna preyed on, was blaming themselves for somebody who died in their family, Max. So honestly, I think this is one of the well thought of characters, because the other characters who have taken over or preyed upon other characters has honestly just been for like wrong time, wrong place. Like really, like Billy, wrong place, wrong time. Barb, wrong place, wrong time. The rest of these characters, there is a reason why each of them are being chosen. And we also are getting a hint that I think Nancy is going to be the next person who's going to have to face off with Vecna. And I can't wait to hear what her song is. I'm hoping for Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I feel like that would be great. Maybe some Physical by Olivia Newton-John. I would love that. Or Everybody Wants to Rule the World. That's a great song. That could save me from Vecna's curse. But yeah. Also, it would be really cool though if she did like Walk Like an Egyptian. I did that song for musical theater, and honestly, if I heard that, I was like, I would get right out. I'd be like walking like an Egyptian out of Vecna's thing. But yeah, like I have to say that this season is definitely ChickFlicks approved. And I'm not even that big of a Stranger Things stan. Like I am not like one of y'all like who buys the merch, obsessed with them. Like I really just look at it as another good show of Netflix that I'm like, if they drop a season, I will definitely watch. I have some friends who are like hardcore fan of this. And so when I was watching the season, like I wanted to like kind of be unbiased. So I told them not to tell me anything or any of their thoughts on it and let me watch it on my own. And I think Stranger Things is a show that no matter like what you're into, you can definitely like it's something that's engaging. Okay, so the video shut off. I was basically just trying to say that Stranger Things is a show that appeals to so many people. It's one of Netflix's top tier show. And yeah, I can't wait for the next volume that comes out. I just know it's probably going to knock it out of the park. And I dare say I think season 4 is probably going to be the best season of Stranger Things, even though it is split into like 2 basic seasons really. And yeah, guys, that's it for the review. Please stay follow all my socials, because ChickFlicks is going to be better than ever this new season. Follow us on our TikTok at the ChickFlicks Show, and the same thing for Instagram, the same name at the ChickFlicks Show. If you'd like to follow us on Twitter, sometimes we live tweet when there's award shows going. I said we as if there's more than one person. Sometimes I like to live tweet for shows. So you can follow us on Twitter at the ChickFlicks_show. Oh, it's at the _ChickFlicks Show. My bad. And yeah, guys, I'm going to have all of it at the end, but that's pretty much it. I'm so excited for the rest of this summer and all the things I'm going to put out. And thank you guys for listening and following along with this journey. Yeah, it's going to get better from here. So stay tuned. And that's it from me. This is Alexis signing off at ChickFlicks. I'll see you guys later. Bye.